Hey everyone, and welcome to the review for 10.1 to 10.3 quiz. And we get this party started with a little Pythagoras. So let's see what we got. In a diagram, point P is tangent, point of tangency. That's good, so that means PQ is a tangent. So find the radius. So therefore, if that's a point of tangency, then we've got a right angle there, my friends. So we can set up Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to be like, r squared plus 35 squared equals, then my hypotenuse is the quantity of r plus 25 squared. So the left-hand side is good. I guess I can expand that to 35 while I'm at it. So 35 times 35 is, let's see what we got here. 1225. Now, on the right-hand side, of course, we have the FOIL. So FOIL that stuff. So first times first, outer and inner are both 25R, so I'll put them together, 50R. And then last times the last is, is a positive 625. All right, now the beauty of these, subtract R squared from both sides, and then take your 12, 25, subtract 625, and we've got 600 equaling 50R. Then divide both sides by 50, and my radius is 12. P. Number 2. All right, arc measures. Very important stuff. So find the measure of arc R to P to Q. So 3 letters. That tells me it's a major arc, and I'll go the long way. All right. So don't go the short way from R to Q, go through P. All right, so I gotta find out what this arc is at R to P. So since I have a diameter here, that's gonna cut the circle in half. So I can just take 180 and subtract 31, and I get 149. 180 minus 31. And so then I can be like, all right, well, from R to P is 149. Then I can just add this little part, arc addition postulate. Well, since that's a right angle, that's 90, then I got 90 on that side. So I'm just adding 90 and 149. And that gives me a grand total of 239 degrees. So major arc, make sure your answer is greater than 180, less than 360, and whoop, there it is. All right, number 3. All right, so the theorem in our book tells us that if I've got a diameter, which I do, all the way through, and it's perpendicular to a chord, then it's going to cut the chord in half, and it's going to cut the 2 arcs in half that it makes. So long story short, we can set those 2 quantities equal to each other. H to J has to be the same as J to K. So I can be like x plus 20 equals 6x minus 35. All right, add the 45s to both sides, subtract the x's, and x is going to go into 65. 65 divided by 5. I've got 13 times, of course. What do they want though? They want measure of HK, so I want to go the whole way here from H to K. So I'll plug it back in. So when I plug it in, I better get the same thing, right? 33 on this side, 33 on this side. Add them together so that the measure of HK's arc would be 66 degrees. 4. Tell how many common tangents the circles have. Alright, so if you got circle tightly inside another circle, it's going to have 0 common tangents. Nothing is touching there at all. There's a gap in between. Now, 1 common tangent is if, they only touch each other once, like that. So one's inside the other, but it touches in one spot as opposed to number one. Two common tangents, when they kind of overlap like this, you'd have a tangent there and a tangent there. Three common tangents. You got that one, you got that one, and of course you have the one going through the middle. So a four common tangent, if they asked about such things, would be one where they're completely separate. So you'd have the externals and the internals to give you four common tangents. So that'd be four. All right. Matching, number 5. Match each line, ray, or segment with a term that best describes it. All right, so just be careful on this one. The radius, of course, you guys all know what radii look like. There's your EB. Chord, same thing. Just make sure the difference here. Like the chord is a segment and the secant is a line. So that chord is going to stop at A and B, whereas the secant passes all the way through. Like a line is like the worst line ever. That's better. So there's your difference there. Diameter, of course, CD, and the tangent, they could have gone a couple different ways. DF was a tangent, BF's a tangent. I'm sorry, BH is a tangent. So that's the one they gave you as a choice. So that's the one you mark. Again, tangent, you're just grazing the circle uno times. All right, number 6, another arc measure problem. So locate what you're trying to go. I'm trying to go from D, E, F, D, and all they really needed to say was DF on this one. Since I'm going through E, it's a minor situation. All right, so let's find out what FE is. I know I got 90 here, 25 here. So I got a diameter, it's half the circle. So let's cut, well, let's subtract some things. So I've got 180 minus the 90 minus the 25 leaves me with 65 right there for that little arc or central angle. And I want DEF, so I am essentially going from the D swooping around to the F. So I've got to add together 90 and 65. And of course that gives me 155 degrees. And you could also find 65 there using this diameter and their vertical, so they better be the same, and of course they are. 7, find the value of x. All right, so central angle, of course, is the same as the arc it opens up to, so if you have x degree central angle, you have an x degree arc, and together that arc and that arc make up the entire circle. So I can just be like 4x minus 5 plus x has to equal 360. So again, that takes me all the way around the circle. So just solve it. So 5x's equals 365 when you add 5 to both sides. And of course, 365 divided by 5 is 73. So the value of x is 73. All right, numero 8. It's a long one. QR equals ST equals 480. All right, so again, we have the concept of diameter. It's perpendicular, so it's cutting that 480 in half for those segments. So 480 in half is 240. So I got 240 there, 240 there. CU is 5x, and CV is 9x minus 56. So they're doing this to help you out, find the value of x, you can plug it back in and see how big these are. And since you are perpendicular, that means you are the closest distance from C to that chord is U. So CU and CV are congruent segments. Therefore, we can equate their values. So 5x equals 9x minus 56. Subtract the x's from both sides. It's going to be negative 4x equals negative 56. So x is 14. And of course, we can plug it back in to tell what those sides are. So I've got a 70 right there and a 70 right there. Once I plug it back in. And let's see here now, why that helped? Well, because I'm trying to get the radius, guys. So the radius, of course, is C to R, or C to Q, or C to T, or C to S. So you want to make a right triangle is the bottom line. So say I isolate this right triangle here, so that I'll blow it up for you down here. So that was 240, that was 70, and I'm trying to get the radius. So, Pythagorean Theorem. So 70 squared plus 240 squared equals R squared. 70 squared, 4,900. 240 squared, 57600. So add that. Alright, then take the square root. So that's 62500. And let's see, take the square root of that. And I've got 250. So my radius is 250. If you know your Pythagorean triples and you see 7 and 24, you could go 25, and maybe if that's kind of an obscure Pythagorean triple, but indeed it works. So there you go. Long problem, back it up, check it out again. If you have any questions, make sure you hook up with the live chat Monday afternoon. Number 9, in the diagram, NQ is a diameter, MN, so they give me that arc, and they give me NP, and again, I know that it's a diameter, and it's going to be perpendicular to a chord, so therefore it cuts the chord in half, which also cuts the arc in half. So I can set these equal to each other. They can't get real creative with these questions, guys, because it's the same thing over and over. 5 plus 10x. Alright, so subtract my x's. I'll subtract my 5 and divide. X is 7. They want to know what MP is, all of this. So plug it back in, and you've got 75 here, and we better get 75 here. Yep, 42 and 33. So add those together. So the measure of arc MP is 150. And the last one. Let's see here in the diagram. V dub is 3. Dub x is 4. Vx is 8. So is that a tangent? So we don't know if that's a tangent or not. So you set Pythagoras up. Good old Pythagorean theorem. Question mark. 8 squared. Heck no, right? You know that 9 plus 16 does not equal 64. So therefore, it is not a tangent. How about no? Okay, it's not. I wish I could write better with this pen. There. Alright guys, so that's a review of your quiz. Again, any questions, join the live chat or send me an email and we can talk about things further. Peace!